We are unbelievably honored. A 22-year incredible career. 5 Olympic medals, 3 of them gold. 3-time world champions, the greatest dance team of all time. They're from Canada's Walk of Fame. Would you please welcome Tessa and Scott Moir.
Wow.
What a pleasure, Tessa. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Brown.
Welcome, Scott. So here's the deal. Tuesday night, we saw the very emotional message. After Rock the Rink this tour, you two have announced that that'll be that. You're going to step away for a little bit. So who wants to answer the question? It's been 48 hours of responses, I'm sure, reflections for you two. Who wants to say what you're feeling?
I think it's been a little bit more emotional than either of us had anticipated,
No
but
kidding.
no surprise that Canadians have really showcased their support for us, and we are so grateful. It just feels like the right time, but we're so fortunate as athletes to be able to step away in our own way.
Go ahead, Scott. Why don't you join in?
Thank you. I mean, what else is there to say? People have been there for us, and we've had such an amazing sport journey. We've shared so much together, but people have just cared about us, and it's really it's lifted us up when we needed it most. And as athletes, that's all we can ask for, and we're so proudly Canadian, and we thank everyone so much for that.
Well, it was easy to care for you the way you represented us. On behalf of all of us, we just want to say thank you. Now, if anyone knows about collaboration, it's you two. You have been judged, and now you're judges. You're moving over to the dark side.
We're ready.
You ready?
I've been training for 22 years for this, finally.
All right, get your nasty hats on. Oh, it's really going to be neat. We're marking on the 10-point system at this season on Battle of the Blades. Tessa and Scott will represent 1 mark. Kurt will be 1 mark. And they'll be back, by the way, for shows 6 and 7. So that's really great for us. We have a 3rd judge tonight. Tessa and Scott, you go together, but Tessa, you first.
Well, I truly appreciate the intricate choreography and the way, Natalie, you embraced the performative aspect of the sport. The audience was so engaged. Well done.
Yeah, tough to be the first team out, I think, and you really came out and attacked it. I mean, what people don't see at home, maybe on TV, is how fast you're moving across the ice, considering you've been skating together for such a short time. Great job. Way to attack your first performance. Excuse me.
We're going to get to the scores now, which is part of the equation heading to next week. And let's begin with Colby.
I'm going to give you a 9.3, guys. Great job.
9-3. And again, Tessa, Scott go together. So, Scott, you can announce this one.
9.3.
Yeah.
9.32. Kurt.
It seems I agree with the hockey player and the Olympic champions. 9.3.
Wow, 9 threes right across the board.
We're going to have to remember that lingo. Lift inside a lift.
Yeah.
Well, Tessa, Scott, your thoughts.
Colton, you are so solid on your skates, and because of that strong core, it really allows for a nice run of the blade. And I just can't wait to see what kind of tricks you come up with moving forward, because you already took some risks with those lifts.
Those are legitimate pair moves that you guys are doing on week 1. I mean, that's so impressive.
Kudos.
There was a couple moments compared to rehearsal and a little bit of your training that we're able to see that you're struggling tonight, getting the lifts completely up, and that might have something to do with the elbow, but good job, committing to it and getting through them. You ended up making the best out of it, but maybe something to improve for next week.
What you guys don't know is that it hit your elbow. You showed it to me before the show. I was worried that it was going to be dragging on the ice and slowing you down. It's so swollen, so that may have had something to do with it. But I want to talk about, Tessa, you mentioned your strength, and that's a strength for the lifts and stuff. But when you come to skating, I'm going to step on the ice. When you come to skating, I want you to think of moving your upper body independently with your bottom half, so you're not walking like this. So I want to see, just a little bit more.
Yeah, Colton. That's the stuff.
This is dangerous.
Too much moving.
Too much excitement.
I totally agree with that. And that is what I wanted to say, but I'm too terrified of you. I've seen your highlight reel. So I was thinking I'd just be a bit more positive, but yeah, exactly that. And I think you're capable. I mean, the technique is there.
Scores. Let's get your scores, beginning with Colby.
9.2. Great job.
9-2 it is. Tessa,
9.1.
9.1. Kurt,
As well, 9-1 for
and
now.
9-1. Great start, you two. Really, really great. Let's bring in Jerry D once again.
I just want to remind Kurt and Scott that he probably wasn't great with his lifts because he's never done this.
Let's get to Tessa for some comment.
I loved how you began the program. You really took time to settle in. You started with such composure, and then all of a sudden, this surge of speed. It was incredible. And one thing I'd like to note, too, is it seems you have each other's backs, and that kind of connection will take you really far in this competition. Well done.
Kidding. I think when he really got loose was after a Yankee polka, which is the first time in figure skating history that the Yankee polka has got people on their feet, I have to say. Yeah, I was very impressed. But I've also, in your very first figure skating performance, never seen someone call on a crowd and have them respond. So good for you, man. I mean, the 1 foot skating is much stronger. I would say you've done your homework a little bit better than some of the other competitors. So you have the technique down. There was a little bit of nerves.
Off the top?
Did you think?
Oh, no, just a little.
Yeah, compared to, but when you're skating on 1 foot and doing all the 3 turns, you got to be a little bit more focused and call on the crowd. And that's why I can't wait to see what you do in weeks 5, 6, and 7.
Let's get the scores, beginning with Colby Armstrong.
9-4.
9-4. Wow. Tessa and Scott.
9.4.
Kurt.
9.5.
All right, top that, Tessa and Scott.
I think you're going to be a figure skating analyst.
Amanda, I can't help but imagine what that must feel like going from a team environment with a helmet, padding, full equipment, to total vulnerability and exposure. That takes real courage. So good for you. Don't be afraid to trust yourself, trust the process, and lean on Eric. He's there for you.
Absolutely. I think you have probably the biggest challenge in this competition. The hockey guys, they've always had to be solid. They've always kind of had to fight to be over their feet. I don't think you've ever had to fly in hockey, literally, like you had to tonight. And that is an amazing skill. And the fact you're able to pull that lift off and the death spiral, I'm very impressed. The one thing I will say is when you're stroking, I want to see you a little bit finish your free leg off a little bit and then put it back down on the ice nice and smooth. I've seen you skate in hockey. I know you can be a little bit smoother just going forward.
One of the best. That's great.
I'm the
Scott.
mean judge all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's good. Can you be back next? Both of you, for that matter, come back next week. Strong.
9.3.
Tessa.
9.2.
Yeah.
Kurt.
9.2.
Tessa and Scott.
Incredible ice coverage, beautiful musicality, and I'm amazed by how comfortable you look in those lifts. Just so in sync. Really, really nice.
Yeah, I would say that you had such command in your beginning movements and you really kind of drew us into the storyline and we were attached. So good for you, especially on your first night out in your home city.
Just tremendous. Let's get right to the scores. Colby Armstrong.
Bigger, 9.4.
Oh, I don't know.
Whoa, 9-4. Scott.
9.3.
9-3. Kurt.
9.2.
9-2. Tessa.
Well, that program just unfolded with such seamless fluidity. I was entirely captivated. And can we talk about what a statement you just made with that final lift?
Yeah, I've never seen that lift before.
Never.
Never.
Is that
There's a lift within a lift
Me
on
neither.
top of a lift.
Now that was a lift within a lift, for sure.
I never did this lift before. Never tried it.
Wow. An original lift on week 1.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, all of the lifts were perfect. I kept saying to myself, watch Bruno, and my eyes were drawn to you, which meant you must have been doing a great job when you were lifting, so good for you.
Scores. We have to score that. Colby Armstrong.
9.4.
Tessa and Scott.
9.4.
Kurt Browning.
Why not? 9.4.
Right across the board. Fantastic. So here on the windowsill of winter in Canada, what a night. How about a hand for the cast of Battle of the Blades Season 5? There's 7 teams. Well, there's 8 teams. Here's my teammate, Kurt, head judge. Thoughts on the first show?
The judges had fun, the audience had fun, and I think the stories were told. Some of the skaters.
Thank you, Tessa and Scott. We'll have you back, of course, for the 6th and 7th shows.